basic things, compare to what Scratch does and what Turing does, which is the coding language we're working with. And yeah, just hit your start menu and type Turing. You'll see it's got a little sunset there. Graphics are really old school in it, but they do look cool. Okay, so if you want Turing to write something on the screen for you, the first thing, it's the first kind of program you always run on any coding language, is this famous program that says hello world. If you hit run, you will see on a little side window here that it writes that on the screen for you. Okay? I believe if you put another put statement here and put some more stuff, what are you doing? You can hit F1 as well as a shortcut to run it. See that it actually puts it down on the next line for you nicely. Okay. If you don't want to put them on the next line, I think you write dot dot after your put statement. Dot dot, period, period. And then it mushes them together. Okay? That's kind of like the say command in Scratch, except we don't have sprites in this instance. The other thing you'll want to do is save it too. So file, save as, right away. It doesn't auto-save, kind of an annoying feature. You'll obviously want to make a little folder in your X drive probably to save some of your Turing stuff. Do I have a Turing folder? No. I can make one here though. Create new folder, call it Turing, and you could call it lab1 if you want. .t I believe is the name for Turing files. And then you could save it in there. Okay, so that should run nicely there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Hello world, what are you doing? Awesome. So that's how you put stuff on the screen. Okay. And the other thing we want to know is how to make some variables. The only variable we'll make today will hold in words. Now in Scratch, it knows, like if you type in the number 2, it knows to hold a number. If you type in words, it knows to hold words. But Turing and other coding languages are not auto-typed like that. You actually have to tell it exactly what type of thing it's going to hold. But you write the word var, and you give it a name, much like you would in Scratch. You make a variable name. I'm just going to call this one name, okay? And then you write a colon, and you have to give it a type. And there's 3 types for now that we're going to look at. The first one is called string. Okay. Now, I could leave myself a little message here with the % sign, and it won't run the code. It won't run it. It will just leave myself a little message. Variable to hold words. Now, it's a % sign. I could also, the other 2 types we'll look at later, one that holds integers, and the other holds decimal numbers. They're called real numbers. But for today, we'll just look at holding words, which are called strings. In most coding languages, any variable that holds a word is called a string of characters. Because computers back in the day could only hold characters, like 1 letter at a time, and then if you string them together, you get words. Okay, so let's do the answer bubble thing on Turing, where we say enter something and then type it in, okay? So I'm going to put this in quotes. Give me your first name, like that. Okay. And then the word to prompt someone to type it in is the word get. And then you have to pass it the name of the variable you want them to type in. So if I type get name, let me just run that. See how there's a cursor now that allows me to type in a name? Stanley. Code doesn't really do anything yet because I haven't really done anything with the variable. I haven't said to like write it out on the screen or anything, but I'll show you how to put that name on the screen with like kind of like the Scratch equivalent to the join command. So I'll say put, oh, hello, and then I'll put a quote there, comma. I mean, I could write Stanley in here, right? But it'll only work if the person types in Stanley. Oh, hello, Stanley. So yeah, it's working nicely. But let's say I run it and I put in the name Rory. It says, oh, hello, Stanley. So obviously I want this word to be variable. And so here I write, oh, hello. And then I write comma. And then I write the name of my variable. You could see sometimes if you screw up and, like, let's say I called my variable name, but I write name1. In Scratch we never get errors, but in Turing we do. And you'll see, name1 has not been declared. Okay, I know that might be a mistake. I gotta go fix it. It highlights it for me too. Scratch and HTML don't do that. Okay, give me your first name. Daria. Enter. Oh, hello, Daria. Okay. So that is a very basic introduction to coding today. These are like the say commands in Scratch. This is like the variable command, except you have to tell it what type you want to hold. Okay. Today we're only looking at holding words. These two together are like the blue answer bubble, the question and answer, right? You type something on the screen, it puts a little cursor. If I don't have this line here, there will be nothing there to ask me to type, and it will just, oh, it gives me an error right away, look. Oh, variable has no value, okay. I mean, I could say in here, I could give name a value too. Like, you know how there's a set command in Scratch? In Turing, it's :equals, and then you put it in. If I don't put it in quotes, it will think Tom is a variable, so I have to put Tom in quotes. Okay. Watch what happens if I don't put the word Tom in quotes. Anything to do with words has to be in quotes. It'll say, I've never heard of the Tom variable. Okay. So that's how we differentiate between a variable's name and words that get stored in variables. We put them in quotes. In Scratch, all of our variables would have been in little bubbles, right? But now our variables are straight out there, just typed. We compare them or set them to, this is going to say hello, Tom, without actually asking me to type it in. Oh, hello, Tom. So that's just a very basic introduction to coding today. Lab 1 is going to ask you to go through, check out some of that stuff. We'll put the word get there. Try out Lab 1 today. Shouldn't be too tricky for you. That's all I got to say about coding introduction. There's going to be 6 labs. Okay.